Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into my official NFL week number 14 score predictions, where I go through every game and predict the final score. We've got a full slate. Well, not a full slate. We've actually still got teams on byes in week 14. Week 15, we will have a full slate, but we have a lot of games to get to, so let's get right into it. The Thursday night game, kind of an interesting defensive battle here. Pittsburgh traveling to Minnesota, 8:20 start, of course. Pittsburgh coming off that impressive comeback win. They needed it. They got it. The Vikings coming off that disappointing loss in Detroit, giving the Lions their first win. I do have Pittsburgh winning this lower scoring, 20-17. And my thought process here, guys, I like the Vikings a lot. There's a lot of casual people out there saying, oh, the Vikings are terrible. How could you lose to Detroit? Detroit's been in a lot of close games. It happens. It was a close, high-scoring game. Kirk Cousins, surprisingly, having a very good season. 25 passing touchdowns, just 3 interceptions. But he's due for a bad game. And the Steelers have a decent defense. I think he throws 2 or 3 interceptions here. Pittsburgh gets the road win. Lower scoring game. Pittsburgh knows they need every one of these games. They're so important. Even against an NFC team, the AFC North is so bunched together. They've got some momentum coming off that Baltimore home win. They get the job done. They pick off Kirk Cousins a few times, and they win this game. Lower scoring Thursday night game, 20-17. Moving on to the 1 o'clock slate, we have the Baltimore Ravens coming off that tough loss, traveling to Cleveland to take on the Browns. The Browns didn't play last week. They were on a bye, so they got a little bit more healthy. We know, of course, the week before that, they faced the Ravens, so kind of weird. They faced the Ravens, go on a bye week, then face the Ravens again, this time at home, and this time, very low scoring, little offense. Browns win 17-14. Baker Mayfield, we know the story. He's injured. He always talks about it. He says he's got like 30 injuries, whatever. Maybe he gets a little bit more healthy, but realistically, this is just going to be a defensive slugfest. I don't see the Bengals being able to beat the Browns, 2 times in the span of basically 3 weeks. I don't see the Browns losing to Baltimore back-to-back. This is just a scheduling quirk. I don't know why they did this. It's tough for Baltimore going on the road. Lamar Jackson's had some iffy games. He had the 4 interception game, the Sunday night game, and then last week it was iffy. Mark Andrews could have made that play, but still threw that really bad red zone interception. Either way, AFC North, low scoring. Browns get the job done, 17-14. We've got Jacksonville traveling to Tennessee. Tennessee in desperate need of a win. I think they're coming off a bye week. Jacksonville coming off getting destroyed by the Rams. I do have the Titans winning closer than expected, 30-28. My thought process here, at some point, I do think Trevor Lawrence is going to have a game where he shows real flashes of being a franchise quarterback, and I think it could be this week. They're not going to beat Tennessee. Tennessee knows they need to win these games. Ryan Tannehill's been so cold. He's due for a good game. I like a higher scoring affair here. Maybe Trevor Lawrence throws 3 touchdowns, but give me Tennessee to win this one, 30-28, keeping them well in the playoff race. Next game, we've got an interdivisional, Raiders at the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs offense still kind of a work in progress, only 22 points on their Sunday night win over the Broncos, although their defense looked phenomenal. The Raiders coming off that disappointing loss at home against Washington, closer than expected, but I expect both of these offenses to bounce back. They both had really bad weeks last week. Patrick Mahomes, we keep saying this with the Chiefs offense. It's like, when are they going to break through? They had that one really good game, but other than that, it's been down. Higher scoring game. I was really surprised when I saw the Chiefs were 9.5-point favorites. I understand the Raiders are coming off a loss, but unless there's some major injury I'm missing, the Raiders seem to be involved in a lot of very close games. And the Chiefs, while their defense has been playing really well, I like the Raiders to score a few points, keep this game closer than expected, but the Chiefs do end up winning this one 31-27. Next, we have New Orleans traveling to MetLife to take on the Jets. At this point, the Saints fans are probably rooting for them to lose. They're 5-7. They're out of the playoff race, but I do have the Saints getting a win here, 28-17. This could be the Taysom Hill game where he has 3 or 4 total touchdowns, maybe 2 rushing touchdowns, along with a passing touchdown, something like that. I can't imagine Jets fans are rooting for their team to win. If I was a Jet fan, I would be hoping Zach Wilson shows more glimpses, shows development. But at the end of the day, you want to lose these games. You want as high of a draft pick as possible. Both of these teams out of the playoff hunt. Taysom Hill is, obviously plays very hard. He's trying to prove himself that he can be a viable option at the quarterback position. I don't think he can. I've said this before. Sean Payton does not get enough criticism for not having a plan after Drew Brees. You could see Drew Brees, he was about a year away from retirement. You got to get somebody. Your plan should not be Jameis Winston. Okay, he had no plan. The Saints organization had no plan, and this is what happens. You're 5-7. You're out of the playoffs. Now, Michael Thomas, that whole issue, maybe that's part of the reason. They do have a decent defense, and I do have them winning this game over the Jets 28-17. Next, we've got the Dallas Cowboys traveling to Washington. Washington playing a lot better defense. It's kind of interesting. Washington playing better defense without Chase Young. It really is just a coincidence. Chase Young's a really good player, but it's funny. This is a good divisional matchup. And I do have Washington carrying their momentum over. They've gotten 2 big wins the past 2 weeks against decent teams. This is a huge divisional swing game because the Cowboys are 8-4 right now. Washington is 6-6. If Washington wins this, they become within a game of Dallas. If they lose, they're 3 games out of it, basically, giving Dallas a major advantage to win the division. So big game for both teams. Dallas coming off a win in New Orleans, getting healthier. CeeDee Lamb back, Amari Cooper back. We'll have to see how healthy Zeke is. Has Tony Pollard passed Zeke as the top running back in that Dallas Cowboys backfield? Is he going to start getting most of the snaps? That'll be interesting. He certainly looks more explosive, but give me Washington and their defense. They lean on it at home, 27-24 in a close one. Next, we've got another divisional game. It's going to be the Falcons traveling to Carolina, and Carolina, I think they were off last week, but Cam Newton, my goodness, was that a historically bad performance in Miami. He was 5-21 with 2 interceptions. I still remember the numbers because they were so bad. But you know what? I think Cam gets back on track. Carolina gets back on track. They beat a hapless Atlanta team 27-17. When it comes to Atlanta, you get blown out by Tampa Bay. Everyone could see that coming. Their offense, okay. Russell Gage randomly having an 11-catch game. You like to see that. Calvin Ridley, what's going on with him? Who knows? I have Carolina kind of getting back on track. Using Christian McCaffrey, they still have weapons. DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson. This Carolina team simply has more weapons. I think they cover the 3-point spread against Atlanta and win 27-17. I think this is the last 1 o'clock game. It's going to be Seattle traveling to Houston in an NFC versus AFC game. Seattle with a huge win last week against San Francisco at home. A lot of people did not expect that. I do have this game being a little bit closer than expected, but Seattle getting the win 24-19. Houston, they get shut out last week. Their offense does nothing. 31-0 home loss to the Colts. I do think they're able to cover this spread. This is one of those weird NFL games where it's like you would expect Seattle to win this like 31-14 or something like that, to where it would be a blowout. But the NFL does this where it's weird with these bad teams hanging in some of these games. This is Seattle. They're away. They're traveling to the middle of the country, different time zone. I don't know. I think, earlier game time, it's not like Seattle's offense has been unbelievable, which is pretty crazy to think about. You have Russell Wilson, DK Metcalf, and Tyler Lockett, and you're struggling this bad on offense. They get the win, but they're not covering the 7.5-point spread. Moving out of the 4 o'clock windows, we've got another NFC, AFC, the Detroit Lions, who got their first win last week, traveling to Denver, who looked just terrible on Sunday night against the Chiefs, although their defense looked good. I'll give them that. I do have Denver winning this game, lower scoring, 24-13. This is a tough matchup if you're Jared Goff going into Denver, taking on that tough defense on the road. The Lions are a competitive football team. And like I was saying earlier, everyone wants to rag on Minnesota for losing. It was going to happen. I had said from the beginning the Lions are going to win a football game. They're going to win at least one, but I'm guessing their fan base is suggesting, we want to stop winning now. We got our win. Let's secure that number 1 overall pick. Let's not win anymore. We're the only team with 1 win right now. Let's keep it that way. Denver's at home. This is a good bounce back opportunity. Lower scoring. Denver's defense takes over against Jared Goff, 24-13. Another 4:05 game. It's going to be the Giants traveling to Los Angeles to take on the Chargers. I do have the Chargers kind of with another offensive explosion here, 34-17. The Giants, what are you going to do with the quarterback situation? Daniel Jones is out. Mike Glennon comes in last week. He's out. Could Jake Fromm make his first career NFL start? The former Georgia quarterback, we remember him. They picked him over Justin Fields. Justin Fields transfers to Ohio State. That whole story. But it'll be interesting. It'll be funny. I think the Bolts easily cover this spread. They scored 41 points last week, but it wasn't even like Herbert or Keenan Allen or Austin Eckler had huge games. I think those guys, you could be looking at a 300 passing yard game for Herbert with around two or three touchdowns. Keenan Allen did, I think, have 2 touchdowns, but only had like 35 yards. Give me the Los Angeles Chargers 34-17. The 425 matchups, both of these matchups are really good. We've got a lot of AFC versus NFC this week. We've got another good one here. It's going to be the Bills at Tampa Bay. The Bills coming off of the game last night, the Monday night game. It's unfortunate you're playing in 40-degree wind gusts. That completely plays into Bill Belichick's hands. They lose a close, low-scoring game, and then the Buccaneers coming off an easy win in Atlanta. And guys, I do believe this is the game where Josh Allen is going to prove that he is a franchise quarterback. These are the type of games, you get screwed by the weather, you can't throw the ball, it's tough, you still got Stephon Diggs. This could be a huge offensive game for Josh Allen. Should be good, decent weather playing down in Tampa Bay, Florida. Give me Buffalo, maybe in a little bit of an upset. Although Tampa Bay is only 3-point favorites, this game means so much more to Buffalo than it does to Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay sitting at 9-3. They can kind of avoid a loss here and still be fine. I think Buffalo and Josh Allen a little bit more desperate. They're ready. Their offense is ready to break out after that tough wind game. They get the win. Higher scoring game, 34-27. That's going to be a really fun one. And then we have the other 425 game, which is also a very good game. It is going to be San Francisco coming off a disappointing loss. They're 6-6 now. They will take on Cincinnati Bengals, who are also coming off a disappointing home loss. This game being played in Cincinnati. It will virtually all be played in darkness. So that game starts at 4:25. The sun sets in Cincinnati probably like around 5. I do have the Cincinnati Bengals winning a close, higher scoring game, 30-27. I just simply believe in Joe Burrow. I believe in Jamar Chase. I believe in this Cincinnati Bengals offense. Their defense surprisingly having a good year. A lot of underrated players on it. They bounce back. San Francisco, this is tough. West Coast to East Coast after that tough loss in Seattle. There's a lot of road games for them. Jimmy G, Trey Lance, Jimmy G did not play well, especially in the second half of that Seattle game. I just think Cincinnati's a slightly better team, and they're at home. Both of these teams are extremely hungry coming off bad losses, but I like the Bengals to get it done. The Bengals are 1-point favorites in this game. I think they cover that 1-point spread, but not by much. Moving on to the Sunday Night Football game, it's not a great one. It's going to be Chicago at Green Bay. We really don't know what's going on with Chicago's quarterback situation. If Justin Fields will be ready for this game, I hope he is. I would love to watch Justin Fields, on prime time, watch a full game of him. It is going to be tough against that Green Bay defense and Aaron Rodgers, who are getting more healthy coming off the bye week. Green Bay, they're around 12.5-point favorites right now. I think they cover that spread and win this game easily, 33-14. It's tough if you're Chicago. Again, this is a Sunday night game. You think they would flex this out beforehand or something, but they're going with it. And again, overall, Green Bay coming off that bye week, running backs getting more healthy, defense getting healthier. They're going to be focused. They're going to be ready. They're 9-3. They want these wins. They want a top seed in the NFC. And then the Bears, if you're a Bears fan, you're looking, hopefully Justin Fields plays. This would be great game experience and a primetime game in Lambeau Field. Andy Dalton, it was a tough day at the office for him. 4 interceptions against Arizona at home. That's unfortunate. I don't think this game's going to be competitive, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just be real about it. 33-14. And then the Monday night game, really good NFC West matchup between the LA Rams coming off an easy win over Jacksonville, and then the Arizona Cardinals. And I do have a very strong feeling that the LA Rams win this game outright. To me, this is where the LA Rams and the investments they've made on defense, paying Aaron Donald, getting Jalen Ramsey, getting Von Miller, those guys step up and play well. And they kind of, maybe a few sacks on Kyler Murray, keep him inside the pocket, don't let him run. Matt Stafford does enough offensively with Cooper Kupp, with OBJ. They get the job. Also, Van Jefferson, by the way, decent player there. They get the job done and win this game 28-20. I understand Arizona is around a 3-point favorite right now. That doesn't surprise me. This is a really big game in the NFC West, and I think this division is going to get decided in the final weeks. So that's why I also have the Rams winning this game. Their defense, they finally step up. They finally win a big game on the road. Give me the Rams to win this game outright on Monday Night Football, guys. That's going to do it for all of my Week 14 NFL score predictions. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description. I'm, of course, the Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.